I spent all my savings on our dream family home. But Mom said, your sis gets the master bedroom, she needs IT more, you can have the basement. My sister just smirked. But when they found the hidden clause in the deed, their faces went pale. Sophia gets the master bedroom, she needs it more. My mom said with that dismissive wave I grown so familiar with. You can take the basement, Emma. You're barely home anyway with your work schedule. I stood in the foyer of the house I just bought, the house I'd spent 6 years saving for, watching every penny, taking extra shifts at the hospital, foregoing vacations, and new clothes. The house that had cost me $875,000 of my hard-earned money. And here was my mother casually giving away the best room to my perpetually unemployed sister. But I pay for this house, I said, my voice steady despite the rage building inside me. Every single penny came from my savings. Sophia lounged against the elegant staircase, twirling her perfectly styled hair around her finger. Oh come on, Em, don't be so selfish. You know, I need this space for my lifestyle brand. The lighting in the master bedroom is perfect for my Instagram shoots. My name is Emma Chen, and at 29 I'm a neurological surgeon who just made the mistake of thinking I could buy my family's love with a dream home. I should have known better. After all, I'd spent my entire life watching my parents favor Sophia, making excuses for her failures while minimizing my achievements. Your sister is going through a transition period. My father chimed in from his position by the floor-to-ceiling windows. Her influencer career is about to take off. She just needs the right space to create content. Right. Just like her photography career was about to take off last year and her yoga instructor certification the year before that, and her lifestyle coaching business before that. Meanwhile, I'd worked my way through medical school, completed my residency, and become the youngest attending neurosurgeon at Boston General. The basement has its own entrance. My mother continued, already mentally redecorating Sophia's new domain. You can come and go without disturbing anyone. It's perfect for your schedule. Perfect. Like it was perfect when they used my college fund to finance Sophia's failed jewelry business. Or perfect when they missed my medical school graduation because Sophia had a modeling call back that day. Or perfect when they remortgaged their house to fund her revolutionary app idea that never made it past the planning stage. I watched as Sophia glided up the stairs to her new bedroom, her designer shoes bought with our parents' credit card. Clicking against the hardwood, I carefully selected. The house was everything I dreamed of. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a gourmet kitchen with marble countertops, and a view of the Boston skyline that took your breath away. I'd spent months working with real estate agents, comparing properties, negotiating prices, all while pulling 80-hour weeks at the hospital. I'm thinking of converting one of the spare rooms into a filming studio, Sophia called down. My followers are going to love the natural light in here. My mother's eyes lit up. That's a wonderful idea, sweetheart. Your father and I can help you set it up. Emma, you don't mind, do you? It's not like you need another guest room. I didn't answer. Instead, I pulled out my phone and texted Lauren, my best friend and the real estate lawyer who'd helped me close on the house. They're doing it again. Time to implement Plan B. Her response was immediate. Alrighty, damn, they work fast. Give me the word, and I'll start the process. 6 months ago, when I first decided to buy this house for my family, Lauren had warned me. Your sister will try to take over, she'd said. You need protection. Together, we crafted a foolproof plan complete with legal safeguards that my family knew nothing about. Emma? My mother's voice cut through my thoughts. Did you hear what Sophia said about meeting the guest room? Actually, I said, tucking my phone away, I have some work calls to make. Why don't you all keep exploring? I'll be back later to discuss the living arrangements. My mother beamed, probably thinking I was giving in as usual. That's my practical girl. Always working. Don't worry about dinner. I'll order something with your credit card. Sophia wants to try that new organic place downtown. Of course, she did. Just like she wanted to try the luxury spa last week, and the designer boutique the week before that. My credit card had become the family slush fund with everyone but me enjoying its benefits. I drove to Lauren's office, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. The familiar route gave me time to think about how we'd gotten here. Growing up, Sophia had always been the golden child. Beautiful, charming, and full of big dreams. She glided through life on her looks and our parents' indulgence, while I'd worked myself to exhaustion, trying to earn a fraction of their approval. Lauren was waiting for me in her office, a stack of papers already on her desk. I had a feeling you'd be here today, she said, giving me a knowing look. How bad is it? They gave her the master bedroom, I said, sinking into a chair, and one of the guest rooms for her filming studio. She's planning to run her non-existent influencer business from my house. Lauren nodded, unsurprised. And let me guess, they expect you to take the basement. That it in one. I ran a hand through my hair, exhaustion settling over me. They're already planning renovations, talking about changes they want to make. My mother's ordering dinner on my credit card as we speak. Well, Lauren said, pulling out a particular document from the stack. Good thing we planned for this. Remember the special clause we added to the deed? I smiled for the first time that day. The one that gives me sole authority over living arrangements, and requires written agreements for any permanent residence. Exactly. Lauren spread the papers out on her desk, and the separate document that requires all adult residents to contribute to household expenses. The one your parents and Sophia haven't seen yet. The plan we put in place was simple but bulletproof. While my family thought I bought the house outright, the reality was more complicated. The deed contains specific clauses about occupancy and financial contributions, all legally binding. Any adult living in the house would need to sign a rental agreement and contribute to expenses, something I knew Sophia would never agree to. When do you want to tell them? Lauren asked, organizing the documents into neat piles. Let them settle in first, I said, a plan forming in my mind. Let Sophia start making her grand plans for renovation. Let my parents promise her the moon, then we'll have a family meeting out the household policies. Lauren raised an eyebrow. You're getting devious in your old age, Dr. Chen. I learned from the best, I replied, thinking of all the times Sophia had manipulated situations to her advantage. Besides, sometimes people need to learn lessons the hard way. Back at the house, I found Sophia had already started moving her things into the master bedroom. Boxes of her lifestyle brand merchandise, unsold jewelry, yoga mats with her logo, and self-help books she had never finished writing littered the hallway. Oh good, you're back, my mother said, waving a stack of takeout menus. We ordered from that new place downtown. I hope you don't mind. I use your card for everyone. Safia needs proper nutrition for her content creation. I nodded, knowing the charges already showing up on my phone. $347 for dinner. Apparently, proper nutrition included premium Wagyu beef and $200 bottles of wine. Also, Sophia called from upstairs. I'm thinking of having some of my influencer friends over this weekend for a housewarming content creation party. You don't mind, right? It'll be great exposure for all of us. Our parents being at her entrepreneurial spirit, never mind that her Instagram had barely 500 followers, most of them bought. Never mind that her last content creation party had resulted in thousands of dollars in damage to our parents' house. Damage I'd ended up paying for, of course. That sounds wonderful, sweetheart. Our mother gushed. Emma, maybe you could pay for a catering service. It would really help your sister's brand. I thought about the documents sitting in Lauren's office, the carefully worded clauses that would soon shatter their plans. Sure, I said mildly. Whatever Sophia needs. My father clapped me on the shoulder. That's my girl. Always supporting family. You know, your sister really appreciates it, even if she doesn't show it. Right. Just like she appreciated the car I bought her last year, the one she crashed within a month, uninsured, leaving me to foot the repair bill, or the laptop for her digital empire that she'd sold to fund a weekend in Vegas. That night, as I lay on the uncomfortable sofa bed in the basement, my bed hadn't arrived yet. Conveniently, I could hear Sophia's friends upstairs, their laughter echoing through the house as they planned her influencer takeover. My parents had gone to bed hours ago, but not before helping themselves to more of my wine collection and ordering another round of late-night sushi on my card. My phone buzzed with a text from Lauren. Documents are ready whenever you are, just say the word. I smiled in the darkness, thinking about the look on Sophia's face when she realized her latest free ride was about to end. Soon, I texted back, let them dig the hole a little deeper. Sometimes, I reflected, the best revenge isn't immediate. Sometimes, it's watching people build their castles in the air, knowing you hold the key to gravity. The content creation party was exactly the disaster I'd expected. By Sunday evening, my beautiful new house looked like a hurricane had blown through it. Designer wine glasses lay shatter on the marble countertops, makeup stains decorated the pristine white walls, and someone had spilled red wine on the brand new hardwood floors. It was such a success. Sophia gushed, lounging on the sofa while our mother cleaned up around her. We got so many great shots for Instagram. This house is perfect for my brand. I stood in the doorway surveying the damage. The cleaning service I've been forced to hire was working overtime, trying to salvage what they could. The bill would be astronomical, but of course it would fall to me just like the emergency plumber we needed when one of Sophia's friends flushed her jewelry down the toilet in a drunken mishap. Oh, by the way, Sophia added, not even looking up from her phone. I invited some of my influencer friends to move in. We're thinking of starting a content house. Isn't that exciting? Our mother clapped her hands in delight. What a wonderful idea. And not think of all the exposure this will bring to the family. I felt something inside me snap. 2 weeks. It had taken exactly 2 weeks for them to completely take over my house, dismiss my boundaries, and start inviting strangers to live here. The property I'd spent years saving for was becoming just another playground for Sophia's latest whim. Actually, I said, my voice steady, we need to have a family meeting tonight. My father looked up from his newspaper, frowning. Can it wait? Your sister's very busy with her brand planning. No, I replied firmly, it can't. Living room, 1 hour. I'll order dinner. As I walked away, I heard Sophia whine. Mom, tell Emma she's being difficult. She's just jealous of my success. Success. Right? Because posting filtered photos of yourself drinking overpriced coffee while maxing out other people's credit cards was the height of achievement. I texted Lauren. It's time, bring the documents. An hour later, we all sat in the living room. Lauren had arrived with her briefcase looking every inch the professional lawyer in her tailored suit. The contrast between her and Sophia, who was wearing what appeared to be a rhinestone-covered tracksuit, couldn't have been more stark. Who's she? Sophia demanded, eyeing Lauren suspiciously. This is Lauren Mitchell, my lawyer, I said, watching their faces carefully. She's here to discuss the house arrangements. My mother's smile faltered. Lawyer? Emma, we don't need lawyers, we're family. Actually, Lauren interjected smoothly, opening her briefcase, legal clarity is essential, especially with shared living spaces. Emma asked me to prepare some documents that all adult residents need to sign. She pulled out several papers, laying them on the coffee table. This is the occupancy agreement. It outlines the terms for living in the house, including financial contributions, maintenance responsibilities, and rules about guests. Financial contributions, my father sputtered. But Emma bought the house. Yes, I said calmly. I did with my money. And according to the deed, which you haven't bothered to read, all adult residents must contribute to household expenses. That includes rent, utilities, and maintenance. Sophia sat up straight, her face paling. Rent? But I'm your sister. You can't charge me rent. I can and I will. I replied. The master bedroom you're occupying, that's $2,000 a month plus utilities. The content creation studio you've set up in the guest room, another $800. And any damage from your parties comes out of your pocket, not mine. Our mother jumped in, her voice shrill. This is ridiculous. Your sister is building her career. She needs support, not bills. Lauren cleared her throat. Actually, Mrs. Chen, the deed specifically states that all adult residents must be employed or have verifiable income to maintain residency. Social media following does not qualify as employment unless it generates substantial documented income. The room erupted into chaos. Sophia burst into tears, her usual strategy when things didn't go her way. Our father began shouting about family loyalty. Our mother alternated between pleading and guilt-tripping, but I held firm. For the first time in my life, I had the upper hand, and I wasn't going to let them manipulate me out of it. You have two choices, I said, raising my voice above the din. Either sign the agreements and start contributing, or find somewhere else to live. You have until the end of the month to decide. You can't do this, Sophia sobbed. Where am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to pay rent? You could get a job. I suggested mildly, like most adults do. A job? She screeched. I'm an influencer. I can't waste my time with a regular job. Lauren began gathering her papers. I'll leave these with you to review. The terms are non-negotiable. Emma has been more than generous with the timeline. As she walked out, my father turned to me, his face red with anger. I can't believe you're doing this to your own family. After everything we've done for you. I laughed, the sound bitter even to my own ears. Everything you've done for me? You mean like using my college fund for Sophia's failed businesses or missing my graduation for her modeling callback? Or expecting me to bankroll her endless string of abandoned careers? That's different, our mother protested. Your sister needs. No, I cut her off. What Sophia needs is to grow up, and what I need is to stop letting this family take advantage of me. Sign the papers or get out, those are your options. I stood up, my heart pounding but my voice steady. You have until the end of the month. Choose wisely. As I walked upstairs to my home office, the one room I managed to keep Sophie out of, I heard my mother's voice. Don't worry, sweetheart, she'll calm down. She always does. But this time, they were wrong. This time, I wasn't backing down. The next 2 weeks were a study in psychological warfare. Sophia alternated between dramatic sobbing fits and icy silence. While our parents tried every manipulation tactic in their arsenal, the guilt trips came first naturally. I didn't raise you to be so heartless, our mother said over breakfast, dabbing at her eyes with a napkin. What would your poor father's blood pressure do if we had to move out? Then came the bargaining phase. Maybe we could adjust the terms, my father suggested, trying to sound reasonable. Sophia could help around the house instead of paying rent. You know how artistic she is? She could decorate. I thought about the neon boss babe sign she'd already mounted in the living room without asking. No, they tried rallying the extended family to their cause. Aunts and uncles called daily, lecturing me about family loyalty. Cousins sent messages about how cruel I was being to my creative sister. Even my grandmother got involved, though her intervention backfired spectacularly. So she said during our weekly video call, "They tell me you're charging rent in your own house." "Yes, Grandma, I am." She smiled, surprising me. "Good. It's about time someone taught that girl the value of money. Your mother spoiled her rotten." But the real breaking point came when I discovered Sophia had been filming property tour videos, promoting the house as her own luxury content creation space. She'd even started accepting bookings from other wannabe influencers to use it as a photoshoot location, charging them, of course, while the money went straight into her pocket. I found out when Lauren sent me a link to Sophia's latest Instagram post. Book your shoot at the Creator Mansion. DM for rates, limited spots available. The photos showcased every room in my house, including my private bedroom when I wasn't home. The post had thousands of likes and hundreds of comments from people eager to pay for sessions. That evening, I changed all the security codes and installed cameras. When Sophia's first clients showed up the next morning, they found themselves locked out while my security system alerted the police about trespassers. "You're ruining my business," Sophia shrieked when she found out. I had influencers flying in from Los Angeles. "Really?" I replied calmly. "Show me the business license, the insurance policy, the tax registration. Show me anything that proves you're running a legitimate business and not just exploiting my property." She stormed off, but I wasn't done. I had Lauren send cease and desist letters to everyone who'd booked sessions, explaining that Sophia had no authority to rent out the property. The deadline was approaching and still nobody had signed the occupancy agreements. Instead, they acted like I would eventually give in, like I always had before. Sophia continued planning events. My parents kept using my credit cards, and everyone behaved as if my ultimum was just a temporary inconvenience. 3 days before the deadline, I came home to find Sophia had organized another networking event. This time with 50 strangers trampling through my house, taking selfies in every room. That was the final straw. I walked straight to the circuit breaker and cut the power. The house plunged into darkness filled with confused yelps and complaints. I turned on my phone's flashlight and walked into the crowd. "Party's over," I announced everyone out. "Now, Emma." Sophia appeared in front of me, face flushed with anger. "You're embarrassing me in front of my network." "Your network?" I laughed. "You mean the strangers you invited into my house without permission? The ones you're probably charging an entrance fee." The guilty look on her face confirmed my suspicion. "Out," I repeated to the crowd, "or I call the police and have you all charged with trespassing." As the influencers shuffled out, many demanding refunds from Sophia, our parents appeared. "Emma, we need to talk about your attitude," our father started. "No." I cut him off. "We needed to talk about the occupancy agreements. The deadline is in 3 days. Have you made your decision?" "Honey," our mother tried. "Be reasonable." "I'll take that as a no." I pulled out iPhone and dialed, "Lauren, proceed with the eviction notices." The next morning, right on schedule, a courier delivered the official eviction papers. Sophia's wails could probably be heard across the neighborhood. "You can't evict us," she cried. "We're your family." "Actually I can, and I am." I handed them each a copy of the deed. The sections Lauren had prepared highlighted in bright yellow. "The house is in my name. The deed gives me sole authority over occupancy. You were given notice and chose not to comply with the terms. You have 30 days to vacate." "But where will we go?" our mother demanded. "That sounds like a problem for Sophia's influencer network to solve," I replied. "I hear content houses are very popular these days." For the first time, I saw real fear in Sophia's eyes. The reality of her situation was finally sinking in. No more free ride, no more endless patience from her big sister, no more luxury backdrop for her imaginary career. Our father tried one last time. "Emma, if you do this, you'll regret it. Family is forever." "You're right," I said, gathering my keys. "Family is forever, but that doesn't mean I have to let family take advantage of me forever. Your time here is up." As I walked out the door, I heard Sophia's tearful voice. "Mom, what am I going to do? All my content was planned around this house." I smiled to myself as I drove away. Sometimes the hardest lessons are the most necessary ones. 6 months after the eviction, my house finally feels like home. The neon signs are gone, replaced by tasteful artwork. The content creation studio has become my personal library. And the master bedroom, my bedroom, offers the perfect view of the sunrise over Boston. Sophia and our parents moved into a small apartment across town. The transition wasn't easy for any of them. Sophia had to get a real job for the first time in her life, working as a receptionist at a local gym. Our parents had to downsize significantly, learning to live without access to my credit cards and savings. The family drama didn't end with the eviction, of course. There were tears, accusations, and attempts to rally relatives against me. But something unexpected happened. Instead of everyone taking their side as usual, people began to see the situation differently. "You know, my Aunt Linda told me over coffee one day, watching Sophia actually work for something has been enlightening. She's different now, more grounded." She was right. The entitled princess who thought she could coast through life on her looks and others' generosity was slowly transforming into someone who understood the value of hard work. Her Instagram followers dropped off when she couldn't maintain the luxury lifestyle facade. But for the first time in her life, she was earning her own money. Our parents struggled more with the change. They'd spent so many years enabling Sophia that they didn't know how to stop. But with their access to my finances cut off and their own resources limited, they had no choice but to adjust. Last week, something remarkable happened. I received a letter from Sophia. "Dear Emma, I've been trying to write this for months. I owe you an apology. Actually, I owe you about 1,000 apologies. I never saw how much I was taking advantage of you because Mom and Dad made it seem normal. The past 6 months have been the hardest of my life, but also the most important. Having to support myself, pay my own bills, and face reality has taught me more than all my influencer networking ever did. I'm sorry for treating your house like my personal studio. I'm sorry for taking advantage of your generosity. Most of all, I'm sorry for being such a terrible sister. I don't expect you to forgive me right away or maybe ever, but I want you to know that I understand now what you were trying to teach me. Love, Sophia. Guess I got a promotion at work. Assistant manager, I earned it myself. I read the letter several times, noting the lack of filters, hashtags, or inspirational quotes. Just honest words from someone finally growing up. Yesterday, I invited her over for coffee. The first time she'd been back to the house since the eviction. She arrived on time, dressed in simple business casual attire instead of her usual designer outfits. The house looks different, she said, glancing around. Better actually, more like you. We sat in the kitchen, the same space where months ago she'd been planning her content empire. Now she wanted to talk about her new job, her plans to take business classes at the community college, and her first apartment that she'd rented with her own money. I never thanked you, she said suddenly, clutching her coffee mug. For what? For being strong enough to say no to me. To all of us, Mom and Dad still don't fully get it, but I do. You helped me by not helping me anymore. I've helped tears prick at my eyes. You're my sister, Sophia. I always wanted what was best for you. I just finally realized that giving you everything wasn't the way to show it. As she left, she hugged me, a real hug, not the performative ones she used to do for her Instagram stories. Can we try being sisters again? She asked. Real ones this time? I like that, I said. Our parents are still adjusting. They send the occasional guilt-tripping text, but without any real power behind it. I've heard they're finally starting to spend time with Sophia without constantly trying to solve all her problems. The house is peaceful now. Sometimes I walk through the rooms at night remembering the chaos that once filled these spaces. The marble countertops no longer hold evidence of wild parties. The hardwood floors are free from wine stains, and my credit card statements show only my own purchases. But more importantly, I finally have what I wanted all along. Not just a house, but a home. A place where I make the rules, where my boundaries are respected, and where the only person I need to please is myself. And Sophia? She's discovering who she is without the safety net of endless ennoblement. It turns out she's stronger than any of us knew. She just needed the chance to fall before she could learn to stand on her own. Sometimes the biggest act of love isn't giving people what they want, but giving them what they need. The opportunity to grow up and stand on their own 2 feet. Even if it means being the bad guy for a while, or in my case, being the sister who was brave enough to say no.